Myself and Luca here, just kind of here to talk a little bit about the kind of current state of recruitment. We'll probably start off with more domestic players here in America trying to continue soccer after high school, and then probably jump into a little bit about international players, how they're seeing recruitment as well. So I guess I'll kind of just start off talking about kind of how it looks like historically. You're someone that went through it as well. I mean, it probably hasn't changed for the last 15 years.
Not that much, no.
Players now have got the same issues that you had. I guess obviously historically, what was kind of the biggest things that you saw? I mean, even 5 years ago.
5 years ago, what I was doing, everyone hypes up the showcase. You go to the showcase that you have every year, and everyone's saying, oh, there's going to be tons of college coaches there. That's where you get your exposure. You go to the ID camp, and that's usually you're hoping to get recruited. I didn't send a lot of emails, but now that's really kind of the avenue that most kids are going.
Yeah, I think the only difference to maybe 15 years ago is now the portals. I mean, it's the same thing. It's you're playing for your club and going to those showcases. You're going to ID camps, which can be expensive for families. Emailing coaches religiously, where probably they never get seen. And then now the new one is upload your thing to a portal. And there's a few different portals out there. And I know some coaches that use them a little bit. I use coaches that won't use any of them. One use one, not the other. Some use both of them. But again, you never know because the portals have every college on them.
Yeah.
So you think the college is using them, but in reality, maybe they made an account, maybe they didn't. They're kind of the main four ways that you typically see. I think the big one for me that annoys me the most is probably ID camps. I don't know if you went to many yourself, but
I went to a couple, but it was just like a mess basically. A bunch of people that are going there hoping to get seen, but the coaches are not even looking at you. They already know who they're looking at if they are looking at people at the ID camp. So
I think the thing with ID camps, there's some with value, but players don't do the research on that.
No.
Like the traditional ID camp is sometimes the head coach is not even there, and it's run by the GA or the assistant coach.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're there, but they're not recruiting at all from ID camps. Like there's the amount of people that get recruited from ID camps, I think was less than 2% in 2024, 2025. So like they're not recruiting, or they're maybe only looking for one position. So you got 300 kids there that paid $300 each, but they only really need a goalkeeper. So every outfield player there's not even going to get recruited.
No.
I mean, there's some schools that do a really good job, and they do recruit through ID camps, but you got to do your research.
Yeah.
I think we had one of our athletes the other day get invited to an ID camp, and he said they've done 80% of their recruitment through ID camps in the last few years.
That's right, yeah.
But out of the thousands of programs, it's probably, I'd say, less than 100 that do that.
Yeah.
Majority are not recruiting through ID camps. So a lot of the time in recruitment, I think, becomes more luck than judgment.
I'd say so, yeah.
I mean, or what you would say at Primus, isn't it, to our athletes? It's like closing your eyes and throwing the dartboard. It could hit bullseye. It could easily hit the wall. I think that's obviously what you saw as well. Is like there was no rhyme or reason to it.
No.
I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's just not a lot of guidance from the club, not a lot of support if you don't really ask for it, and it's kind of just luck. If you get recruited, if you get seen, that's good, but if you don't, then there you go.
Yeah, I mean, we won't name the club obviously, but obviously we were recently at ECNL Vegas, and we were speaking to a parent who, like, the team manager that runs the whole team. I mean, I'll let you say what you said. You had the conversation with them, but they are a club that promote that they are very good at this.
Yeah, I mean, with so many kids in the program, that they should have an established program that helps those kids. But looking at their 2007, 2008 ECNL team of seniors, non-committed, I mean, it shows the results they're right there. They don't have any.
Yeah,
it's unfortunate because I talked to them, and all those kids want to play in college, but the club doesn't promote any pathways that are realistic or helpful.
Well, I think you said to me that the dad in question you were speaking to said he didn't know kind of what to do or what there was to do.
He didn't know that the program that they were promoting on the website wasn't a thing that had ever been presented to him. So how
and that's their ECNL team.
Yeah.
Like, which is meant to be their top team.
Yeah, that's the platform. I mean, you can even talk about the amount of coaches that were at that showcase.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably about 40 coaches, 50 coaches. Like,
40.
They promote that there's hundreds and hundreds of coaches at these events. And this is ECNL Vegas, one of the biggest ECNL events of the year. And you're expecting, okay, there's going to be a load of East Coast coaches here, or West Coast coaches, sorry, because obviously there might be more at ECNL Florida on the East Coast side. barely any.
No.
Like, and you're expecting these, and I was chatting to a lot of those coaches. A lot of them were pretty much done, because this is January. A lot of them are done with recruitment, and now they're just looking at. I was chatting to one. He's like, all I need is a left-footed left winger. There's not many left-footed left wingers there.
No.
Like, and he's like, he might find it there. He might not. He probably already has other targets.
Yeah.
So I think that's a big thing as well. Is like the club side of it. Is like that's what we're trying to do with working with clubs. Is like there's some clubs we chat to and they're like, yeah, listen, we don't do enough. And to be honest, I don't think they can do enough. They got a lot to do. And
it's so much to do.
Yeah, I mean, you do youth coaching as well.
Yeah.
I mean, it's and you do the younger age groups, but you even still have a lot going on with that. I mean,
Absolutely.
they can't do the recruitment a lot of the time, and some clubs are like, yeah, we need the extra help, and that's where those clubs have seen, obviously, people go on to good things through being able to work with us or just getting education from us and being able to learn. But then there's some clubs we speak to like, now we've got it figured out. But then their kids are saying, well, we didn't know this was even a thing. So it's quite frustrating because only like, I think 7% of athletes continue to play in high school, which is a very, very low number.
It is.
And that's across all sports. I mean, soccer itself is probably lower because obviously it's a different element to it because you're competing with internationals, which obviously we'll touch on in a second. I think the big thing that you saw as well growing up is like, again, sometimes it's not even the coach's fault because they only have certain connections, but they might have their favourites as well, potentially.
I mean, you work with 16 players. Yeah, your top 4 that are easiest to place because you have those top D1 connections, and then the rest of them, it's like you have to actually work to get them recruited, and it's not something that they're interested in. So they get the favorites and they get pushed out, happy, they're off to play, but the rest of us, I was one of them.
No, I mean it's tough because it's like like we're talking about the traditional route step by step. We talked about ID camps, the ECNL events. We're talking about that's your club showcase. Like your club is saying, well, we pay for ECNL, and we're in ECNL, you're going to get seen. But there was, I don't know how many.
There's 100 clubs.
Yeah, so I don't know how many players that is. Like average of 20.
1,000.
Yeah, I mean that's a lot of players, and there's 40 college coaches, and at least the ones I remember speaking to were only looking for 1, 2, maybe 3 things. So that no, they're not going to get seen. So what those other players are doing, what they're emailing coaches can't check their emails. I mean, we always talk about the example of that we did a couple of months ago where we had a college coach come on, and it was a small school, wasn't it, like under 900 students, and if they get over 1,000 emails a recruitment cycle, they can't go through all that. So imagine how many a school of 5,000 kids are getting, 10,000 kids are getting. It's again the traditional route, which is becoming really, really tough to kind of navigate it. And I think also a big thing as well is like there's been a lot of talk. I mean, I know I did a rant about it the other day about the Missouri State having the first like full Division 1 squad of all internationals, and everyone's been going crazy about it, talking about there needs to be 20 domestic players, 8 internationals. And obviously, if you haven't seen it, obviously you should check out the video that I posted on that. But I've seen so many people put different reasons. It's this reason, it's that reason. And those mainly being there needs to be a cap on internationals, or there needs to be more development players. That no one, apart from myself, that I've seen has said the problem lies with the recruitment. Because I think sometimes it can be easier for a coach to recruit internationally.
Yeah, they're just kind of pushing that issue down the road, then. Not addressing the root of the problem instead of the symptoms.
No, exactly. Because I think that the big thing as well is that it's everyone thinks you've got to go from high school straight into college soccer. I mean, obviously, my role at Primus obviously is different to yours. You're working with the athletes day in, day out. I'm working more with the college coaches. And then the big thing there is I've been probably told by over 100 college coaches in the last 6 months, I'm no longer recruiting freshmen anymore. But then these families don't have the education from the clubs or outside that there are other routes than just going into it.
Yeah. I mean, I had a conversation with the player and his family this weekend. That was their whole plan. Their whole plan was to go to Division II school, and that was the only option he had on the table, and then go back and tell him, we're not recruiting freshmen anymore. So what's he left with? That was his whole plan. So I mean, it's a huge issue that people aren't looking at other pathways.
Yeah.
And then the ones that are used to be available to them are just all of a sudden stripped because of the portal and two-year two-year athletes that prove themselves and are more recruitable.
Yeah, I mean, at least that coach told that player.
At least, yeah.
Like, because a lot of coaches won't. They'll let them come to the ID
I mean,
camps.
Don't let them get to February in his senior recruitment cycle and then tell them that.
Yeah.
At least he's letting them know.
Yeah, I mean, because a lot of coaches will just let them come to ID camps because this is how, but for anyone that doesn't know, this is how a lot of colleges get more scholarship money is through ID camps and fundraising. So they have to do it, not because the coach wants to, but because they're told to by their athletic director. So they're not going to make an announcement, we're no longer recruiting freshmen. Like, look at their roster, do the research. But again, clubs aren't having the time maybe or being able to help them navigate this as much. So my point of saying that was there are other routes now than going straight into high school. Like, you want to become a more all-round athlete. Maybe we work with gap year programs here in the US. We work with gap year programs in the UK. We work with full university soccer programs in the UK, in Canada, in Spain, and in other countries. I think from your perspective as an American athlete, like, what would that have changed about your recruitment cycle if you knew about that sort of stuff back then?
I mean, I would say, I didn't know those things existed, those pathways. I'd say they'd be very interesting to me. I mean, I have family in France abroad. Like, I would be interested in exploring things that get me out of the country. I've never been afraid of that. And I think that's probably a sentiment that a lot of people now are experiencing, that it's okay to go abroad. It's okay to have a different path than the traditional go to school and study at a university in the US. I think that would absolutely have changed the way that I saw recruitment in my experience, and then especially people that I grew up with doing the same thing. I think it would have been completely different outcome for me, especially.
Yeah, I mean, this is my 10th going on 11th year in America, and it's only the last couple of years that I've seen families being open to gap years.
Yeah.
But I can only take that from that's families we're educating on the benefits of why.
Right.
Like, in Europe, in Asia, gap years are a big thing. Take a mental break, maybe go travel the world, but there can be other reasons, and it can be developing your skills as a soccer player. Like, if we have a couple of girls on the girls' side going out to Oxford in August, and they're going to go out, probably play some women's football in England, increase their resume. They're then going to come back, and they're going to be a lot more recruitable than the freshman girl that's coming out of high school. And they're going to get a lot more options from coaches that may not have considered them the year before because they've improved and they've got a better CV. So I think whether it's maybe you want to go straight back into education, but you don't have to do that necessarily in the US. I think the other big thing I always talk about is the 2-year route as well. I mean, as an American, I don't think it's talked about as more of a negative, isn't it?
It is. I mean, I never heard about it. I mean, you get bad grades, you're going to 2-year. That's why.
Yeah. I mean, listen, that's what they were started for. But a lot of families think it's a negative to go to a 2-year. But I always say it's not where you start, it's where you finish. Okay, so as we were saying now, kind of jumping into the international student part of it, I think obviously yourself, there's some similarities to the US based, I think.
So
the big thing on mine, how we've been talking about on the UK, on the US side with ID camps and going to ECNL showcases and stuff, is portals as well. It's pretty similar in the UK. It's, again, portals, but obviously every agency has a different one, and how do you know what coach you're using it? And then our version of the US showcase, because obviously the coaches know you're specifically trying to come to the US, they're the same thing where you don't know what then offers are coming in. So I think the big thing is players not understanding why they get the offers they get, because I got 7 offers, but 5 of them were out my family's budget, so nobody gave us a questionnaire how we do onboarding to actually talk about that. And then maybe they didn't have the 2 that were left and didn't have my degree. So the problem is, I think with showcases, a coach could like you, but your budget might be X and it's double X. Or you might want to do sports management and that school doesn't have any sports degree. So with the portals and the showcases, it's similar to the US athletes, where it can sometimes be more luck than judgment. I think the other big thing is I had no rhyme or reason to why I was getting the offers I didn't understand. Obviously, I don't know if there's any other organisations like ourselves that do the pre-calls where we actually talk over why we're introducing you to that specific school because of the area, the degree they do, the play style, the type of coach they have, and all those factors. So you're going into the call knowing, okay, I know why I'm speaking to this specific coach as well. So I think there's too much that's based on portals and showcases. I mean, from your perspective, I know you see it from the outside with the UK guys, but obviously what's your kind of thoughts on it?
Yeah, I mean, definitely a lot of similarities in the U.S. player getting recruited nowadays compared to the U.K. player. I mean, it is a lot of just go to an ID camp, go to a showcase, and hope that you get seen by a coach, which is pretty similar to the UK players. Do they do your degree? Who knows? Are they within your budget? Who knows? It's again luck of the draw, luck rather than judgment. I mean, it's pretty much the same thing. But we're trying to change that, obviously, where players are able to get a little bit of insight into why they're getting recruited by this school rather than another school. So that's really what we're trying to do.
I think from how I felt about it with the company I use, I know obviously a lot of our team members here at Primus have used different ones as well. Like, we felt like a name on a balance sheet. Like, you kind of don't know where you are. Like, there might be some players where the rhyme or the reason to why they're getting it is because they have a low budget and a low football background. Like, it does, for those of you listening, there is going to be a difference as an international player, is what's your budget and what's your football background. If you have only played a low level of under 18s and you've got the minimum budget we require, you may only get one option. But the rhyme or reason we're going to tell you is you need to go here because it's affordable for your family. You can go play, get minutes, become more valuable, and then we'll move you on after that. And I think sometimes I just felt like a number on a balance sheet. And I think the other big thing from that is the aftercare aspect. And that could be whether you're a domestic player or an international player. Is getting to college is one thing. Navigating it from then is another thing. So obviously, we at Primus, whether you're a domestic or an international, we do your 3 checkpoints a year, where we're actually having a 30-minute chat. How are you doing? What class are you taking? Do you need help picking your degree? Do you need help getting a part-time job? Do you want to transfer? You can reach out to us whenever you want. I mean, I have some athletes that have been out here for years and they chat to me every week. I've got some that I'll only chat to in the checkpoints because they're getting on with it. But I think that's valuable, obviously, not just from an international perspective because the homesickness being so far away from home, but with American players, like you could be in California, go to New York. That's the same as being in London, going to New York.
Yeah.
So I think from an American player's perspective, I think there's some value in that aftercare as well.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I've seen it with my friends that went to play. I mean, they'll go to a school. It's like they get 1 or 2 offers to go play. They go. It's not exactly what they wanted. They quit after a year or a semester, some of them, which is really unfortunate because obviously they're not getting the full picture before they get recruited, and then they don't have that aftercare while they're there to help them get through a situation that might be tough or uncomfortable, which is, I mean, for our athletes is so valuable.
Yeah, I think we could do a whole another conversation on the transfer portal in itself. But if you go somewhere and listen, not everything works out perfectly. You and the coach just might not see eye to eye, or maybe you might go somewhere you're above the level and actually need to go to a high level. The transfer portal doesn't get you anywhere. So how do you, without the help of maybe a Primus, navigate the recruitment cycle when you're in college? Because it can be very, very easy. It's a lot easier than getting recruited as a freshman or going into college the first time. If you have that help and guidance, and that's part of what we're trying to do as well, is not just navigating maybe what classes to pick, but navigating the transfer process. And then when you get into the end, trying to navigate, okay, what internships are available? What kind of jobs do you want to go into, helping you build a resume? And if you're an international especially, well, what visas are left for me now? Can I stay? Yes, you can stay on the OPT work visa. I can become a GA and get a free master's degree and then do my OPT, or do an OPT in between, then another OPT after. There's a lot of options that people just wouldn't know. And I was only lucky that I knew because I had a friend that did it the year before me and he figured it out by himself. Without that, I might not have had the knowledge. I might not still be here in America today. So I think, I think on the international side, and kind of just bringing this all together for you guys is on the international side, obviously, you have to kind of use a company to help you. Obviously, we're trying to make sure that the athletes can use someone like a Primus and not have the kind of mistakes made on them like we had made on us. I think from the US side of things, what do you think is kind of the big takeaway from the conversation on obviously the issues of recruitment at the moment and how Primus is trying to help?
Yeah, I mean, on my side, like I work with clubs day in, day out. I'd say that clubs, even if they think that they're doing a lot to help players get recruited, it's really not that much, and that it's a lot of players that want to play. There's a lot of opportunities that are out there, but communicating and getting those players in front of the right colleges at this point is very difficult. And for a club that says, oh yeah, we're helping our kids email these schools and go to these ID camps, like it's not what it used to be. And clubs are starting to realize that they need that extra help to get all those players recruited. I mean, as college sports are getting more popular every year, internationally, domestically, and so the support is really what I see as like the biggest change. That some clubs are welcoming it, some clubs are kind of shying away from it, and those are probably the clubs that will start to get a bad rep amongst their own players, because it's clubs are getting rated based on their performance of sending kids to college, and it's something that they have to improve on it.
Yeah, and soccer's a different animal to American
yeah.
football, basketball, where it's mainly just American players that are playing it.
Absolutely.
So it needs to be treated differently and not the same.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah, no, I agree.